somebody asked the question, wouldn't it be cheaper to buy the solar panel from, let's say, China, and just import it and put it together myself with an electrician? And I thought, okay, yeah, that's possible. And hi guys, welcome to Asher and Gad channel, making Africa home again, one family at a time. Welcome again to another episode of Asher and Gad. Again, thank you to all our subscribers, our Patreon family, and the rest. Love for the love. Really appreciate you guys as usual. I'm dedicating today a very brief video. It won't be too long. It's really a Q&A session. I'm always inundated with questions. I don't necessarily have time to answer all of them. So I'm doing this video, making a selection of questions that have been asked. Fairly interesting questions that will benefit the person who asked them in the first place, as well as other people. So let's give you a few questions and a few answers in that regard. All right, so the first question that I selected, and this came from, I think, the video I posted probably 2 weeks ago, where I talked about us toying with the idea of getting a solar panel system. And we're actually getting closer and closer for that to become a reality. And somebody asked the question, wouldn't it be cheaper to buy the solar panel from, let's say, China, and just import it and put it together myself with an electrician? And I thought, okay, yeah, that's possible. And I want to give a shout out to one of our subscribers who gave me a contact from a Chinese company called Yiyen, website on your screen, yiyen.com. And basically I contacted them. We had a few exchanges, and they gave me a price, which this particular brother is building a lovely house by the coast somewhere, and apparently he got the solar system and got it all wired up and is working perfectly. His electrician helped him to do it. Now, but I contacted this company. He did it a few years ago, I think, but I contacted this company and I wanted to test the waters in terms of how much does it cost, how much the delivery, is it door-to-door, customs duty, etc. And so I asked them for a quote for a 5.5 kilowatt hybrid inverter with 12 400-watt panels and a 10.24 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery. Okay, they came back to me with a cost of $6,100 US. Okay, $6,100 to take 45 days to deliver to Ghana, the Ghanaian port. Then obviously you have to pay your customs duties and taxes, and obviously pay for your electrician to install it. So bear that in mind. And again, I'm not saying, I've just done one comparison, so you have to do your own comparisons before you come to a conclusion. I've only just done one. Okay, so that was $6,100 to come from China. Then I went out to a company called Deep Solar, okay, one of the solar companies in Ghana. Gave me a price on exactly the same specification, and they gave me a quote of 48,740 Ghana cedis, okay, which comes out at about $6,507. Okay, so there's a difference there of $400, which on the surface really is not that much of a difference for such an item, significant item. You know, they have it in stock already. I can order it, pay 70% down, get it installed, pay the rest on completion, not have to wait 45 days because it's already here. For a difference of $400, I'll probably go with it, because the difference is not that significant. Now, again, this is just one example. So I contacted our local clearance company, the same company we used when we were moving to Ghana. They're experts, to find out roughly how much the customs duty would cost. Okay, and we were given this breakdown. She said the electrical cables that come with the package, we would pay 20% of the value on custom duty. That's $6,100. 20% being $1,220. We would also pay 20% on the lithium-ion battery, another $1,220. We pay 5% on the solar panels, which is $305 because it's 5% of $6,100. We pay 5% on the inverter, another $305. And then 5% on the system as a whole, another $305. So in total, the total customs duty, according to the local clearance assessment, would be $3,355 which means that the total, if I was to import from China, yen, the total, including the customs duty, not including any electrician's labor, obviously I may probably do it myself, but let's just say the importation and the customs duty came to a grand total of $9,455 versus $6,507 from Deep Solar, me buying it here in Ghana and just getting them to install it myself. So quite a significant difference here. So in that example, definitely not cheaper to import. Absolutely not in that example. But that doesn't mean, that is the same outcome for every single example. I've only just done one. I guess you need to do a number of examples, as they do in statistics. You need to have a wider, a wider sample group, okay, before you can really come to a definitive conclusion. This is just one example. Okay, but to be fair with you, based on the sheer cost from yen of 6,100, and there only being a $400 difference between that and the guys in Ghana, I'll just go with the guys in Ghana personally. There are the solar companies varying, and there's Solar Mate, there's Accra Solar, there's SPS, Deep Solar. There's quite a few of them with varying prices, and you just have to negotiate. I found out in Ghana, again, this is down to the companies. I don't know the details. You find that some companies pay tax and some companies don't pay tax. I don't know how that works. I really don't know how that works. But it all boils down to your negotiation skills. I guess if you negotiate well, then you can play on the payment or non-payment of tax to negotiate a good deal for yourself. All right. So if anybody is interested in yen contact details, I've got the contact details of the lady who I've been dealing with, and her name is Kathy Yen, and I'm happy to pass that across to you if you want to order panels for yourself and install it for yourself. Okay. Hope that was useful. Second question was, what was the cost for the automated gate? Now, bearing in mind, my automated gate, even though it was installed probably about maybe about 2 months ago, the actual cost, because we already paid a percentage of it, the actual cost for the automated gate was based on a budget that was done about a year ago. Okay, and that cost was about 3,500 cedis. Okay, so that is what I paid. But I have seen recently there's probably it's shooting almost to the 5,000 mark. So we're living in a season of hyperinflation now. So the cost you saw a year ago is definitely not the same now. Even the cost you saw 2 weeks ago is not the same. So you just have to bear that in mind. But that's how much we paid, 3,500 cedis for our automated gate. And when I say automated gate, all I'm referring to is the motor, the rack, everything that automates the gate, not the gate itself. Okay. All right. Somebody asked me a question of how many blocks does it take to build a 5-bedroom house? But that's really an open-ended question. I can't really answer that because it depends on how I guess how high the walls are. Are you going to go 9 feet? Are you going to go 10 feet? So that's really an open-ended question. Can't really answer that. Perhaps your builder can answer that based on the plans that you give him. Question number 4 I picked out. Obviously, this is based on some videos that we did, I think a couple of videos back, where we talked about our shower cubicles, debating with myself and Gad whether to go for hinge or sliding. We've concluded on the hinge for various reasons. People gave a lot of comments, and just looking at the consensus of all the comments, hinged is definitely the way to go. It's more durable. it's just the way to go. So we're going with hinged for all the showers. We finally settled on a company who's going to do it, and the quotation is on your screen. Somebody asking how much it costs. So we have 4 showers, as you know, in our house, and we're using 10 mil thick. I think it's 10. Yes, 10 mil thick glass. Okay. The hinges for the glass and around the edges are all going to be stainless steel. Okay, make sure it's stainless steel, because obviously, if it's just ordinary metal, then you could have some rust issues down the line. So it has to be stainless steel. Okay, we're going to have 2 of our bathrooms will be we'll have sandblast opaque, so that when somebody's having a shower, you can't really see through, and the other 2 will be plain glass, just to spread the cost out a bit. So on your screen, that's the cost that has come to us, and that's cost for all the 4 shower cubicles, 14,688 Ghana cedis. Okay, 14,688 Ghana cedis. Now, if you are out there building and you've also got 4 bathrooms or so, you can obviously divide it by 4 and get the cost per bathroom. I would like to hear. I mean, comment below. How does that price compare to the price you've got? Obviously, we'll see as the showers are built what it looks like, but I'm believing you hear that it will be a good outcome. Okay, so that's the price that we have for the shower cubicles. The guy is coming to do final measurements tomorrow, and then 7 days later the installation will begin. Probably 2 days installation. The guy is coming to do final measurements tomorrow, and then 7 days later there'll be installation. Probably 2 days installation will be done, and obviously I'll share with you guys. We will share with you guys as usual. Right, I'm going to speed up now because my battery is running low. Question number 5, the cost of toilets. We haven't bought all our toilets yet, but we bought 2 toilets today from a company in Spintex Road. Some pictures on your screen, and the cost was about 800, and it varied between 800 and 900 Ghana cedis per toilet, of course. And now when you're getting a toilet, you have to be mindful. If you're getting your toilet, you can get a P trap or you can get an S trap. As I said in the previous video, if you haven't watched that video, click up here. When you're buying your water using appliances, fixed or mobile, try and go with your plumber, unless you know the right thing to do yourself. Okay, for our house, for example, in the main house, there are 5 toilets. Okay, and out of the 5 toilets, 2 of them need to be S traps, 3 of them need to be P traps. The S trap and the P trap is all about how the soil pipe connects to the toilet itself. Okay, the P trap, I'll show some pictures on your screen. The P trap is where that soil pipe, which is where, or the ganja goes. Let's say the soil pipe goes through the wall. Okay, and normally the S trap is on the ground floor, where the soil pipe goes vertically into the ground. Okay, so that's the difference between a P trap and an S trap, and you've got to make sure you get the right type to suit your particular building. Okay, check with your builder or go with your plumber. All right, number 6, somebody asks, oh, why do you need a dining hall basin? Well, because we're Africans, and there's some foods we eat with our hands, and we may not necessarily want to go to the kitchen. We just want to have a quick wash of hands and just sit at the dining table, and away you go. So that's why we decided to have a nice fancy a basin in the dining living room area in the corner, and we found one. We purchased it today, so pictures on your screen. So it's a nice basin. It's got a lovely cupboard underneath it, sort of golden finish with a shelf and a mirror. All comes as a set. So everything you see in the picture, including the tap, is 2,579 Ghana cedis. Okay, so that's why we got that. Last couple of questions before my battery runs out. Somebody asked, if I've got 12 400-watt solar panels on my roof, that's 4.8 kilowatts. Can I then assume that I'm going to be able to support 4.8 kilowatts of load in my home? And the answer to that is no, a big fat no. Now, solar panels, although they're great, they're using free energy from the sun, there are several factors that mean you cannot really use all of the power. And some of those factors are shading. So you must make sure that when it's being installed, it has to be installed so that there's no shading. Okay, one panel must not shade the other, because or you must not be too close to the wall, so the shadow of the wall doesn't shade the panels too much. Because the more shading, the less efficient, less power you get out of it. And obviously, you need to have a regular maintenance regime. Maintenance is an issue in Ghana, as I said all throughout our videos. You have to have a proper maintenance regime, which means cleaning. You have to clean the panels every now and again, because as it gets dusty, and that's going to be a headache for us, Gad. Yeah, it's going to be a headache for us because it's got a bit of dust on our roof. You have to clean it, because if the more dusty the panels get, the less it'll be able to absorb the rays of the sun, and therefore the less power you get into your home. So you need to clean them on a regular basis, and also the angle of orientation also determines the power, which the expert will come on site and get it right for you. Solar panels are tested at a certain STP, standard temperatures and standard conditions, which don't necessarily reflect exactly how they'll be installed in your home. So I would say aim for about 60, on the worst case side, about 60 to 65% of your panels you'd get as power in your home. So if you've got 4.8 kilowatts of panels on your roof, as in 12 400-watt panels, then about 60% of that is, I don't know, let's say about 3 kilowatts, yeah? So then the load that you should expect to be supported on that shouldn't really exceed 3 kilowatts, okay, continuously, and then you should be all right. Now, somebody also asked, yes, during the day, I want to use solar, but if I'm generating so much power, let's say I'm generating 3 kilowatts from my panels, and my house during the day is only using 1.5. What's happening to the extra 1.5? What you can do is you can get a battery, so the extra 1.5 can charge the battery, so that during the night time, the battery can take over and support your house loads. Obviously, in the night time, you won't have much going, a bit of lighting, some fridges going, unless you sleep with air conditioning. If you do, then obviously that's a significant load as well, which can also be supported, especially if you have the digital inverter type. If you're going to support AC units on a solar system, make sure it's a digital inverter type. Very important, okay? Unless it just won't do it. And even the digital inverter, you have to assess how big is your solar panel versus the horsepower of the AC units. You may only be able to support 1 or 2, or these factors all need to be looked at to make your decision. So in the evening, the battery can support your load, okay? Somebody asked again, well, how do I determine the right size of battery? Okay, it's a lithium ion battery. So for example, let's use round figures. If your nighttime load was at 1000 watts, okay, and you wanted your nighttime load to be supported for 8 hours of your sleep, then 8 times 1000 is what? 8000 watt hours. In other words, 8 kilowatt hours. So that means you need a lithium ion battery that has a capacity of at least 8 kilowatt hours. Okay? Simple as that. When you receive the quotation, if you want to determine, the kilowatt hours of the battery that is being given to you, all you have to do is multiply the voltage of the batteries times the amp hours of the battery. So for example, I recently received the quotation from, I think it was SPS, and the voltage of the batteries they use are 48 volts, and the amp hours is 120 amp hours. Multiply those two numbers and you get 5760 watt hours. Okay, so that's 5.76 kilowatt hours. So if I've got my load of 1000 watts in my house during the night, then that means that load is going to last about 5.7 hours before the battery dies off. Okay, so that's how you determine it. Okay, so it all depends on what you're doing at night. Are you charging an electric car at night? All those come into play. As I said, regarding solar, we're getting closer and closer to making up our mind on that. And if we do decide to go for a solar system, I'm going to go for a hybrid system. And when I say hybrid system, what I mean is a smart inverter that will receive an input from the solar system. Okay, it would also receive an input from ECG, single phase, and obviously it would have a battery. So what that means in that scenario is, and it will be prioritized, it's going to operate automatically SBU, as in it's on solar. If the solar is not available or there's not enough energy coming from the solar, the system will automatically revert to battery support. If there's not enough batteries energy available, then we will revert to ECG, and all that will happen automatically. In the nighttime, the priority will be BU, because obviously there's no sun, so the house will be on battery. If the house will be on battery, but then it will still have an ECG supply. So whilst the battery is supporting the load, it is still being trickle charged, okay? Or when the battery falls to below a certain level and it can no longer support the house loads, ECG will take over. So at all times, I have 3 sources of power coming into my hybrid inverter system, okay? My battery is never going to discharge completely, because ECG will charge it right back up, okay? It's not good to fully discharge your batteries either, which is a topic for another day. But I'm going to go for a hybrid smart intelligent inverter system. Now, some people think that hybrid means you're in parallel with ECG. For some configuration, yes, but not for the configuration I'm going for. I don't really want to be parallel with ECG for many electrical reasons. Okay, all I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in ECG single phase as an input to my inverter to give it another option if the solar and or the battery are not available, and in night time to charge my battery when the solar is obviously clearly not on, because when it's dark. Okay, so I hope that was useful, guys. Just a brief video to answer a few questions that have come my way. I've selected them based on the let's say the repetitive nature of the comments, because I've got questions. I've got these questions quite a number of times in terms of the solar in particular, and importing it, and the rest, and the cost of the shower cubicles and the rest of it. So I hope you enjoyed this session. As usual, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button so you always be aware when you upload a new and educational video for your viewing pleasure. So on behalf of God, it's Kemis here, and for me, guys, Yebeshia. See you next time.